Hey everyone, this is very different show if you guys see, but we are not live from the Smokin' Studios tonight. We are actually live from the Amador Club out here in San Francisco. This thing is absolutely amazing, and it's crazy that that Brandon from Apostate, who's on tonight, has also been to this place, knows this place well. But before we bring him on, I just got to show you guys something. Okay, so let's see if I can get my camera to do this. Will it follow me? Come on. Let me just see, because I want to show you guys this room. So let's see if I can make it do it. Okay, come on. Follow me over here. Over here, this way. Come on. Nope. Hold on. Technology don't want to work the way technology needs to work. There we go. Where are you? All right. Hi, you see me? Okay. There we go. All right, guys. So this is the actual Amador Club, one of the rooms that I'm standing in right now. And as you guys can see, it's a pretty big room. I actually have Carl, their tobacconist, over here at the Amador Club with us today. He's just sitting in the background. He also knows Brandon. But if you check out the room, dude, look at this. Okay. So first off, we're just going to be a little fancy here. If I could find the sleeve. Okay, so I can't put on a coat, but we're cool, right? Like, this thing is awesome. They've got the coats here, because there's two coats. If I only put on one, it might actually work. But they've got smoking jackets here. I mean, this place is just luxury through and through. They got a whole downstairs. They got a wine cellar room. Look at this. You can come here. I don't know why you wear it in the summertime. It's a little warm, but, we'll keep this on for a second. But here, I think somebody's still in the other room. But if you check this out, it's got a sliding door that you flip it all the way around. It's pretty cool, right? So I'll take this coat off. We'll put this back. But this place is huge. So if you guys are ever in San Francisco, good luck finding somewhere to smoke that's not this place. So if you're in San Francisco often and you wondered why you've never heard of this place, there's a reason for it. They treat it like it's a speakeasy, right? They don't really want people to know about it unless they're really interested. Oh, come on, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Here we go. They really don't want people to know about this place, really, unless you're a cigar smoker or you're friendly to that environment. I think that's a fair statement, right, Carl?
Yeah.
And so if you're in this area, I think it's $3,000 a year. So if you're out here in San Francisco and you're looking for a place to smoke cigars, this is it, man. I'm going to be out here quite a bit, hopefully over the next years. I've got a lot of clients that from my real job that are out here. So you guys might be seeing this a little bit more often on the show here. Maybe, a couple times a quarter type deal. This is actually pretty fun. I mean, this is really a cool place. Listen, okay. When I originally called them, here's how awesome they are. Here's how absolutely sweet they are. Okay. So I called them and I needed a place to shoot. And I totally expected them to tell me to go pound sand because it's a private club, right? I tried to get into the Briggs Mansion in Chicago and they were like, absolutely not. You're not allowed to film or shoot anything. Called up this place. They were like, come on down. I felt like I was in The Price is Right. Come on down. Like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do a little partnership. Let's make this into something if that's what you want to do and it makes sense for everyone. So this is a really cool club. So yeah, if you, Matt, I'm in, what do I do for the real job? I'm in software sales. I work for one of the largest software companies in the world. I don't know what a real job is. I prefer to say this is my real job, and that's actually the job that actually just pays the bills, but this is the one I really like. I know, absolutely in shock, Paul. And I hope you're still having a great time in Colorado. Absolutely in shock that California even allows, or especially San Francisco, allows smoking. Because it's the city of San Francisco. It's not the people all over the place outside, but the city just doesn't want you to do it. So, but anyways, that's you. So we're gonna have that live ticker. As we are live on location. This is the first time I've ever shot the show not in the smoking studios. So I normally fuck up my beginning and my intro. So instead of even trying to attempt and say live at the Amador Club and put a marble mouth in the beginning of the show, I just decided to kind of come on and do the whole live on location at. So this is really cool. I appreciate this very much. Thank you, Carl and crew, for allowing this to happen. Let's go ahead and bring in the man of the hour. Now, this is Brandon. How you doing, brother?
What's up? How are you?
This is Brandon's first interview and first time on a show since I don't know how he was able to do
since it. PCA.
Yeah. But since you teamed up with James Brown and his outfit out there, and I don't know
that old thing. Yeah.
I don't want to know what favors you had to promise or how you did it, but he doesn't take on people very often. And congratulations. I just wanted to start the show off by saying congratulations. And Brandon's currently right now at a good friend. So at the end of this, he's going to take his phone and you're going to walk through Tim's house. We're going to see all the.
We're going to raid the underwear drawer. Absolutely. We're going to see all of it. Yeah, man.
Yep. Yeah, I want to go right for the fridge. I want to see what's in the fridge.
Okay. A lot of bottled water.
Tim's a guy I think eats healthy, but I don't know if I can. I don't think that's been proven. So we'll have to see.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Yeah.
So Brandon, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Hell yeah.
For those of you that don't know Brandon, he's the one of two. Him and Kendrick own Apostate Cigars. Was it freed Mormon? Is that what we can call it? You're free?
Liberated, absolutely,
liberated.
Man. Yeah.
Liberated.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. A late blooming Rumspringer. Yeah.
Late blooming Rumspringer. Well, I tell you, you didn't only bloom, but you created a forest. If that's the case, because you definitely took everything you weren't supposed to do with Mormonism and ran with it. And
the pendulum went all the way the other way. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's kind of start here with James Brown. I want to kind of, because this is the first time you're really talking about it on a show, I want to kind of dive into whatever you can talk about, whatever you could share, obviously. And kind of tell us how that situation happened. Was it you guys that reached out? Was it him that reached out? What was that like?
Yeah, man, it was pretty surprising when it all started to happen. Actually, it's certainly not anything that we were expecting. We've been on the market about 5 years now, right? But James has been here for a minute, and he's always been somebody that I look up to. I mean, I've got the Black Label Trading logo tattooed on my neck, and I have for years. So I'm what I would call me a fanboy of James, right? We got into manufacturing in 2020. And we weren't trying to emulate the Black Label vibe. We weren't trying to copy paste, but there's something to the rebellious, a couple of other brands have leaned that way. Something to the rebellious side of cigar smoking, right? The, almost motorcycle club side of it, the religious iconography and the counterculture vibe, right? That fit for us. And the other part of it is that we came out of the gate ready to grind and do the work and hit the road and shake hands and promote our product and be hungry for growth and building community. And it turned out that people were paying attention, and James and Derek over at Black Label were paying attention. And I wasn't aware of that until they called us and said, hey, we should have a talk. James hit me up on Messenger and he's like, hey, homie, we should talk. I was like, oh shit, what did I do? It was like, did I say something offensive? So he assured me everything was fine. We scheduled a call, and he and Derek said that there was room in the Oveja Negra family to bring on another brand, and that they were interested in having Apostate join the party. And we were overwhelmed and flattered and a little flabbergasted by that. We took a little time to think about it, and at the time when they called us, we were sort of in the thick of it, right? We were just starting to see real growth, and the brand is taking off, and people are buying the product and smoking it, enjoying it, and talking about it. And we were like, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to be beholden to anybody. We kind of want to do our own thing. So thank you for the opportunity, but no, thank you. We said no when they asked us to join Oveja Negra. And then for the next couple months, Kendrick and I both just sat there stewing in it, thinking about it, saying, I think it feels like we missed an opportunity here. Maybe we should reconsider. And Kendrick got into the nitty gritty and ran some numbers and projections and, all the shitty stuff you have to do when you own a company. And it turned out that it appeared to be more beneficial for us to say yes than to say no. So we reached back out to James and said, hey, man, is there any chance that offer is still on the table? And he said, yeah, absolutely. We haven't found another partner that we would like to align with. So you guys are, the opportunity is still there. We should continue the conversation. So we did. And by about late February, we had it in place with LJ Zuka, who is the distributor, to have a distribution and marketing contract through LJ Zuka and join the Oveja Negra family of brands. And then we announced it at PCA. So it's definitely surprising, but we couldn't be happier, man. With the benefit for us as a company is obviously the brand power of Black Label trading. Now, where people say Black Label, they will be saying Apostate, which is great. We couldn't ask for more. We've got a built-in sales force now instead of just me and 2 reps, Tim Wong and Crystal Herbert. Now I've got representation from 10 reps across the country, and they're incredible reps. I mean, you got Nick Goss, you got Mike Watman, Joe Schwartz, Tim Wong. It's incredible. So Joe Reeser, Jody Hadley, Calvin Woods, Levi Lucas, like an incredible team talking about our product and putting it in front of retailers. That alone is worth it for us instead of just me hopping on a plane or hopping in the Sprinter van and trying to do it myself. So the benefit, I think, to Black Label is that they've got a brand who aligns with them creatively, aligns with them in a vibe sense. But we're Dominican based, right? You've not seen that from Oveja Negra. It's been Nicaragua, right? So now Oveja has something from the Dominican area that they can promote and make a part of the family and diversify a little bit. And it's an opportunity to do exciting things together. We're going to keep our production for Apostate with Hochi Blanco at Top Clara Palma is still going to make our core line product for us. We've got some Coronas coming out in the next few weeks that he's made for us, and we'll do some more projects there. But it's exciting to know that we've got another factory at our disposal if we want to get weird, And
the other thing too is you guys, I've smoked outside of some of the one-off limited releases that he's done. I just bought his newest one, the Aletta.
My God.
I say all this because strategically, you guys fill holes where you guys fill gaps in his portfolio.
And vice versa.
Actually have, but I think you guys actually have mild. He really doesn't. He's definitely more of a punchier mild, but I mean, the greatest Candela ever made is you guys. And I mean, again, Sig just told Carl over here, I told him you guys were coming on. He goes, "Oh, they make my favorite Candela ever." So you guys are also strategically filling in holes in his portfolio
for sure.
And now it's gonna, like you had said, it's gonna be kind of synonymous. And let's also be honest too. I mean, the whole religious thing also flows.
Yeah, that's a very a ton of synergy there as far as what inspires us, right? For sure. So we couldn't be more grateful. I'm super excited to be working with James and Angela. and Derek and the whole Veja family. We feel like we're getting the better end of the deal on this, but we're gonna show up for them. You know what I mean? We're gonna do our part. We're gonna make sure that they don't regret it. We're gonna keep hustling. We're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna make good product and just vibe, man. Just put a good name on it. You know.
So what does this mean for fans of Apostate? Obviously, and what I mean by that is you had mentioned you're keeping your core line with Hochi. Obviously, you weren't going to take that. I mean, you got in with the Godfather. You're not going to leave that. So
Right.
you're leaving that with Hochi. Are we going to see collaborations? Are we going to see a different? Because I mean, you're also kind of you close the door on your core line right now. Like you've done all the symbols.
Yeah, core line is done. Yeah, we have all 8 blends to round out the core line. That's done.
Exactly.
So the next iteration of the core line is the 8 Witnesses, which is a box set of all 8 blends in a uniform 4.5 by 44 Corona size that's releasing in a few weeks. So that's the next chapter in the core line, right? But from there,
last time you were on the show.
Yeah. So from there, you're right. What do we do next, right? So there's definitely still going to be, it gives us the opportunity now to do our limited yearly release or anniversary releases or one-off small batch shit, right? At Palma, and we can still rely on Hochi and his impeccable production over there and all the incredible tobacco that he has for us. So for fans of Apostate, what they can expect is definitely more of the same, right? We're going to run it back. We're going to keep doing what got us here. But the added bonus is now we have Oveja Negra in Nicaragua and SLE that we would love to go and fuck around. I mean, we'd love to go play with James's tobacco and see what it tastes like when the Apostate boys get their hands on James's kitchen, So it's and vice versa. Let's get James out to the DR. Let's see what he can do with Hochi's tobacco. Let's mess around. None of this is on paper. None of this has been planned, but obviously I would like to think
it's in the works, right?
I would like to think it's implied. Yeah, it's implied.
It's kind of implied, right?
It would be a waste if we didn't do it. So it's
if you have him on your album, he's going to have you on his.
Yeah, we're both going to do features, man. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. We got the music videos coming out.
Yeah. Absolutely, for sure, man.
So is this going to kind of, obviously what you've done with Hochi, you're leaving there and that's done. You've got an expansion with the 8 Witnesses. That was, I actually think you originally talked about the idea as just an idea last time you were on. And
we were workshopping it when we talked. Yeah, it was never finalized.
So now is this going to kind of put a little different spin on, let me ask it differently. Are you going to be looking for a new profile with a new line? Or are you going to cleanly be able to say that's an Apostate? Because you guys don't do the heavy pepper punch that Oveja Negro does do. Right.
And
so is that going to be introduced? I want the high horsepower coming out of Apostate.
I want to, as a challenge creatively to Kendrick and myself, as what we've been able to do with blending so far. I think we should definitely dabble in what happens when we start playing with tobacco that's got a little more oomph to it. Right now, our approach with Hochi has been the embracing the elegance of Dominican tobacco. Right, we're embracing the soft side of the nuance and the complexity of what you can do with Dominican filler. And it's been really fun to just blend for flavor and not worry about the strength. And it turns out that when we were blending for flavor with Dominican filler, it tends to be on the mainly the medium side of things. We've never gone more than like medium plus, right? But if you get us in Oveja Negra, and now we've got all this Esteli and Jalapa, Ometepe, all the stuff that they've got over there, the broadleaf. I mean, we're going to have the same approach. We're going to be blending for flavor, but by default, that flavor is going to lend itself to more strength because of what it is, right? So, you're going to see, hopefully, some higher octane Apostate, but it's still going to taste like Apostate. You're going to be able to tell you're smoking Apostate for sure.
See, I like that. I'm looking forward to the second I heard about that relationship. Instantly in my mind was, we're gonna get some fire and brimstone. Did
Yeah,
we just
did
do
you
it?
see my face?
Did
You
we
see
just do it? Did we just do it? Oh, you kidding me, man? Okay, so if that
stamp
happens,
stamp that. Yeah, dude.
if
Fire
that
and brimstone, are you kidding me?
it's being launched on my show.
Get out of here. Yeah, man. Now you got to come help us blend it.
I'm there, man.
You poor
I'm
guy.
there,
Yeah.
dude. I'm there. I'm there.
Get your ass to Nicaragua with us.
Um, I don't normally. We normally do the Steve Saka. What are you smoking tonight? Sponsor segment, but I don't have that slide here. I do want to show everybody what I am smoking, which is, let's see if I can get this to focus.
You got the endowment, baby.
The endowment. Tell everybody what this is, and then tell everybody what you just lit up.
I just grabbed the same thing. I am also about to light up an endowment. I just finished the Liahona. I lit the Liahona when we got on in the green room, and that's a small cigar. It didn't take long, so it's endowment time. This is, as far as I'm concerned, this is my favorite blend in our core line. The core line is like my kids, right? It's those are all my babies, and I love them all equally. But are you a parent? You have kids, right?
I have a 4-year-old.
So if you ever have another child, you're never going to be able to split love between them, right? You're going to love them both as much as you can, but there's probably going to be
pit them against each other and make them work.
Yeah, there's going to be one that maybe you want to hang out with a little more, right? So this is the kid that I hang out with when I'm feeling like I just want a cool experience. The endowment it's a Connecticut Desflorado wrapper. It is a little darker. It was fermented a little longer, but it is still Connecticut Desflorado. It's kind of rosy in color. And then you have a Connecticut broadleaf binder. And then you have PA broadleaf, San Andreas, and DR filler. And so on paper, that sounds like a lot. But when you smoke it, yes, it's complex, and it's got definitely more of a punch than you would expect from a Connecticut. But it's still smooth. It's still balanced. It's still creamy, and all the flavors that you would typically expect from a Connecticut with just a little extra, right?
I definitely say it's a little it's a Connecticut you could smoke at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that says a lot. It's not a light. I would, in my palate, I would put this probably mild plus, medium minus.
I'd put it on the lower side of medium, which is pretty hefty for a Connecticut. Unless you're smoking the Champagne by Perdomo or something, or even the Porcelain by Black Label. Those are a little more solidly medium, but this is just a shade under that, which is for us, pretty beefy.
Now, the endowment is what symbol?
The endowment is that last symbol, the temple that looks like.
That's what I thought. This
is
is the one that you released last year to close your closure.
It is, yeah. This is the bookend. So you have the initiatory on the front and the endowment on the end, and both of those cigars are named after ceremonies that you go through in the temple. Mm-hmm. So when you first become a temple-worthy Mormon, you go through the initiatory. And when you're ready to be a missionary or move on higher in the church, you go through the endowment. And then they give you a special temple name, and there's secret handshakes and all the ways that you get into heaven and all that shit. And so there's two ceremonies that you go through. So we use those ceremonies to bookend the core line. And that's the only repeat in size, too. This is a 6x52 Toro, just like the initiatory. Yeah.
See, I think you should. You'd probably get a lot of flack for it. I think you should come out with the exclusive box edition called the Book of Mormon.
So
just one of each.
So we're about to release. Some cigarillos. We did a really premium cigarillo. It's all the leftover tobacco from Apostate and Palmer production. They take all that leftover tobacco off the table. They chop it up real fine, mix it together in a box, and then
like the papas fritas.
Like that. But what we're doing with that is putting it in a cigarillo format with a Brazilian Arapiraca wrapper, and it is it's the first cigarillo I've smoked that reminds me of the flavor profile of a full-bodied Maduro cigar. Like it holds up. It's only a 20-25 minute smoke, but it's incredible. I had people at the trade show coming back like, because we had a few samples at the trade show. Like Kevin from Cigar Prop came back like 3 or 4 times. He's like, dude, you got to give me more. Like, I need more of those. So those will be coming out this year. But the packaging is going to look like a Book of Mormon. It's going to be in a 100-count box. You open the cover of the book, and it's got 100 cigarillos inside. It's going to be called The Lost Pages.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is great. I love that. I want to get back to this fire and brimstone thing,
bro.
Because I think that
fantastic
collaboration.
Fantastic.
I think that is.
It's got to be a barber pole.
100%. 100%. It's got to be a barber pole, and you got to have the light and the dark contrasts.
Mm-hmm. James is coming out with that Five Temples line. Have you seen his teaser photos of the Maduro with the multicolored barber pole around it? Something like that. It's maybe not quite that dramatic, but yeah, it's got to be a barber pole. It has to, and broadleaf. It's got to have broadleaf.
Yes. No, I think that would be and you can release the fire, and you can do literally like have that as like a co-collaboration line.
Bro,
So instead of releasing a collab with Black Label or Black Works, you guys could both do the Fire and Brimstone line, and then you guys could have, more of an apostate one for the fire, and then give him the brimstone.
Oh, it's a 2-pack, dude. Yeah, bro.
Do a 2-pack, and now you got a 2-pack.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're cooking with fire here. Yeah, man.
We just became best friends, didn't
Look
we?
at us. Look at us. Who'd have thought?
No, dude, I think that would be an amazing idea conceptually.
I love where you had that.
And would
yeah. That was why I got excited. That's perfect, man. I'm always like the stray thread of thought running through my head at all times is future cigar names, because we have such a deep pool to pull those out of. I'm texting Kendrick occasionally with like, hey dude, what do you think about this for a name of a cigar? It's like cool name, but we don't have a cigar in mind. So he's like, just write it down and save it for later,
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do that. So that's, again, like it's so hard for a fan of you guys, and your stuff is always in my humidor. I just can't be more excited for you, man. I really can't. I think this is such an incredible, but it's a partnership that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a partnership. You guys have similar themes.
Yeah.
And you're tatted up. He's tatted up. I mean, like,
yeah,
it fits,
It's aesthetically, it makes sense. For me, it was a combination of a lot of things that made sense. That ultimately became the reason we said yes. It was we're aligned creatively, right? We always have innovation in mind, right? We're aligned philosophically. Cigars are about building community. Cigars are a special thing that force people to slow down and forge friendships and build community. And just take time out from the bullshit of the world, right? So we're aligned there. But then, yeah, when you're talking about the vibe of like, I'm, a couple of white guys who decided that they could be good at this. It's all there, man. Not only that, but I've never seen a company grind as hard as Black Label. Like we're trying our best to meet their fire. You know what I mean? The fire that they have and the spark to just keep growing and keep creating new stuff and keep building their consumer base. It has never flickered, not once. And that's the fire that I want and that we've tried to bottle so far.
Yeah, and he also doesn't make sense on why he's even still around, because he's got zero experience in the cigar industry before this. He kind of dove into it,
which I love.
Again, it's very similar. Yes, you guys had Beehive Cigars,
right,
which is also part of your symbol. You guys had Beehive Cigars, but I don't know, dude. I can't be happier for you, man. I truly
thank you.
And
honestly, it's a blessing, dude. It's one of those, like, so far since the union occurred, it became official on June 1st. We've seen nothing but astronomical growth since. I mean, the day that they announced it at the trade show, it had been an okay trade show. Like, it had been pretty good, right? But we had our own booth, a little 10 by 10 with a table, and they had their Black Label booth, which is the big, big white booth with the four corners with the brands in it and the couches and all the reps over there. We did the announcement on the last day of the show because we didn't want to take away from what either of us was doing at the trade show. So the last day of the show, we dropped the press release in the morning, and 15 minutes later, our booth was busier than it had been the whole trade show. It was people lining up waiting to talk to us. So it immediate impact.
So take us through that first couple, several days, weeks after the announcement, going to PCA. And what I mean by take us through is Black Label and Black Works have cult followings.
Oh yeah.
So obviously whoever's smoking Black Label probably knows about Apostate, but now you actually have cult followings of James going, oh my gosh, if he likes it, I am going to go buy it.
That part.
Now you have,
that's all it took.
A whole new opening of fans. So did you walk us through what your thoughts were as far as what you thought was going to happen, and then the reality of what happened? Did you expect it?
What I thought was going to happen happened, but it happened a lot faster than I thought it was going to happen, because what you just said was key, right? It was James has spent a lot of time, and Derek and the whole Ovejo family, give them all credit. They have spent a lot of time building Black Label into what it was. And you don't get a cult following if you're fucking up, right? They're doing, when they're presented with a choice on how to proceed, they make the right choice every time. Whether it's marketing or branding or blending, they make the right choice every time. And from that, they have, like you said, a cult following. If you go onto their Facebook group, the Black Sheep private group, they have over 3,000 members in that group. And so what we saw the very first day, 2 days later, after we're all resting from the trade show, I get a call from Derek, who's the national sales director based out of Texas. And Derek is like, hey man, love you. Love being here. Love the whole thing. Love everything we're doing together. I'm seeing a lot of posts in our private group on Black Label where people are excited, and now they're posting their Apostate Cigars in our private group. You need to go make a private group for Apostate, because we want to keep this Black Label. It's not anything about you. We're just promoting Black Label here. You need to capitalize and go do the same and build a group. So we went and built the Apostate High Council, the private group on Facebook, and immediately blew up. People that I've never associated with, but I had seen in the Black Label group and in their forums, showed up, started immediately posting that they had just bought an online purchase of Apostate. They were like, and they literally were saying, if it's good enough for James, it's good enough for me. If James likes it, I'm going to like it. And the feedback has been immediate. I mean, that's the kind of growth we've seen, is people taking James at his word, because the last thing James is going to do is mislead people. Right. So
absolutely. How much did sales change? And what I mean by that is, say a company bought, 5 boxes. Are they now buying 8, 10? Are they buying now more because?
Not necessarily.
Because it's hotter. Like, is it growing in that way?
What's actually really cool about that question is that I can say, no, that did not happen. And the reason that didn't happen is that the people who bought into Apostate before Black Label bought in heavy, right? They were drinking the Kool-Aid right along with us. So they understood that by bringing us in and promoting the product and smoking the product, what it was, and that it would be a value for their customers. And so the people who were early adopters, a lot of Washington and Idaho and Utah, Colorado, Nevada accounts, some PA accounts, New Jersey, those guys were already killing it, right? They were already supporting us pretty hard. So their orders didn't necessarily increase in size, but they have increased in frequency, which leads me to say that they are selling more, right? So they're not necessarily, they're not necessarily giving me bigger orders, but I am getting them more often. But the exponential that obviously we can quantify it, but it's almost overwhelming, is the amount of new accounts that came on board. we went from 75 active accounts to now we're almost 100 right away, which was not expected. It took us a while to get accounts that were actively reordering. And now that the sales force from Oveja is behind us and they've already got a reputation of providing a good product, now that they're recommending our product, the customers are saying, cool, yeah, we'll try it out. Well, they're trying it out and they're selling through it and they're ordering again. And it's only been a couple of months. So it's immediately impactful for sure.
And that's all. And that's, that's kind of what you were hoping.
It's exactly what we're hoping for.
As a perk to this is the expansion. But I like the fact that they're not necessarily buying more, but they're ordering faster. That means more than a bigger order.
And that's the thing is like my rep in the Midwest, Joel Reeser, when we brought him on, which was only a few weeks ago, he was like, cool, I've got accounts in mind. They've all said yes, we're going to bring them in and we're going to start out with events. So not only was he ordering and opening new accounts, but he was doing events right away, which is huge. If you can get an event going and get people hyped about the product and give them something for free that they can smoke that they wouldn't get outside of an event, because we have our event only cigars now. You're creating excitement and buzz and enthusiasm, which is going to just be great for that retailer. So I think there's a lot of retailers who are glad that they said yes.
I know you just because I know how you think, and you're never satisfied when things are going great. You always are trying to make things better.
I get scared when things are going great.
But that's a good business owner. But this has to be kind of like the first rung on your "we made it" ladder. I mean,
I'm not even looking at that staircase yet. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Like this has got to be kind of that mentally that first step for Apostate to go, boy, we are here. Like we're not done.
So yeah. I like that better. I like the okay, hey, yeah, we've been telling you for 4 years that we're gonna be here. We're here. And I think that helps me feel more confident in that we're not going away anytime soon. I mean, lately it feels like the average lifespan for new brands coming out since 2020 is like 3 years and then they're done, right? So this is our 5th year. In December, we'll celebrate our 5th anniversary on shelves. We formed the company in 2020. So we're already past the curve of where a lot of people have showed up, tried, and left. And God bless them. You know what I mean? I'm glad that they tried. I'm glad that they were here. But for us, this was always about longevity. And I think situations where, we initially said no to James and Derek and then changed our minds and said yes. Being able to change your mind, being able to adapt, being able to lean into things that come your way is what helps you stick around. Absolutely. So God bless Black Label for, helping solidify that.
So I just got to say, I still find it really funny that you originally said no. Now I would have kind of been like, no, and it got off. What the fuck did I just do? Diving for my phone, going.
That's 100%. 100%.
It's like, did I just tell Ozzy Osbourne I won't go on the stage for his last ever show? What?
It's kind of what it felt like. Yeah, it was more palpable like that for me because I'm obviously a Black Label fanboy, right? But I had to put the fanboy part aside and think about not how I feel about Black Label, but how Apostate handles Black Label, right? How does Apostate handle being part of Oveja Negra? How do we operate in that space, right?
Growth?
Yeah, well, not just the growth, but are we giving up creative control? Are we giving up efforts made on our part and now exceeding those efforts to say, oh, well, we're only doing well because we're part of Oveja Negra, which I think kind of writes itself off because we wouldn't be having that conversation with James and Derek in the first place if that was the case, right? They wouldn't have come to us if that was the case. So it's a lot of.
They're not in the market of building brands. They're in the market of growth. Good.
Yeah, they're in the market of collaboration of growth.
He's got 2 brands for himself to grow.
Right.
He wanted to bring you guys in to expand the portfolio, not to help you.
There's not
to put everything together for you. So you guys did the groundwork, and the only reason why you're there is because you're successful. I mean, it's just really that simple.
Well, and how do you gauge success, right? Is it number of accounts? Is it number of cigars sold, or is it sticking true to what you're doing and not quitting, right? And
well,
that's
me, how do you gauge it?
For me, I gauge success in that whether it's 100 cigars or 10 cigars, we're providing smoking experiences to consumers who are enjoying what they're doing while they have an apostate in their hand, right? That's success to me. That's a mission accomplished. If you've just spent your hard-earned American dollars on an apostate cigar so that you can relax with your friends or relax by yourself and meditate or have a good time or celebrate something or mourn something, that's mission accomplished. That's it. That's the goal. That's all. Obviously, we're in business to make money. You want to make money so that you can keep the business going. There we go. Sorry, I had a phone call coming in.
No worries.
You want to make money so you can pay the bills, right? That's why you're here. But outside of that, a success is, are you meeting your goals creatively? Are you meeting your goals growth-wise? Stuff like that. You still with me?
Oh yeah, no, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm just here. I'm just listening to you. Are you here? Do you got me? Oh, I think he's going to try to jump back in. Looks like he got a quick phone call. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. I had a phone call come through. I thought I was on airplane mode. So, yeah, talking about success for me is like, obviously we have bills to pay so that we can stay in business. So you want to make money and you want sales, but sales is not the motivator, and it never has been. For us, this started as let's try this and see what happens. And so far, what's happening is fucking awesome. So we're still here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're kind of living out your dream in this, in the sense that, like, I mean, you guys were a smaller brand and killing it, crushing it, and now you're connected with James. Like, just like the world's your oyster right now for growth. And again, I just keep coming back. I'm just so fucking excited for you guys, man. I'm so excited to see the Fire and Brimstone line being announced here on the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show next year. I'll just go ahead and announce it, everybody. Early PCA for next year. We're gonna have the
2026, baby. Yeah, we're gonna put Ryan's face on the band. That'll be the symbol.
You ain't selling shit,
these aren't moving. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, no.
I tell you exactly why they're not moving.
But no, man, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I think you're echoing a lot of how I feel and a lot of how consumers and retailers feel, that there's really no downside to this so far. So
now, who was? I know Kendrick is. I feel the more reserved of the partners.
In public,
yes, you're definitely more of the everyday face.
For sure. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So, were you guys on the same page? Kind of talk us through a little bit about that communication between the two of you, and who was more gung-ho, who was a little bit more apprehensive, or were you guys both on the same page?
Are we talking about Black Label or in general?
I'm just talking about as at that phone call. How did you like the two of you guys going back and forth? Who was more nervous? Were you guys on the same page? Were you kind of like, let's do it? He was like, well, let's think about it.
So, okay, great question. Actually, super fucking glad you asked that. Sorry, I'm pouring myself a little more Cuban rum here.
Nice.
So Kendrick and I worked together at Beehive. I was his GM. He's the owner. And I was the one spending his money, and he was the one with the game plan, right? So he's an ops guy. He's very pragmatic. If something presents itself as a scenario or a problem that needs a solution, he's going to think about it from every angle, and he's going to be super logical about all of it, and he's going to come up with the right solution. And that's why I work with Kendrick, and that's why I would never. They say don't go into business with your friends, but those people don't have a friend like Kendrick, because there's nobody that I would trust more in a business scenario than Kendrick Wilson. So that all being said, he's very good at finding solutions. He's very good at seeing everything from every angle. And we're both usually highly aligned in which direction we want to go, but we think about that direction from different sides of the coin, right? So where he's very pragmatic, I'm very emotional. I'm an emotional guy. I'm exuberant. I'm excitable. I'm very passionate, right? And Kendrick is a very passionate human being, but he's going to put all that aside so that he can think clearly. I have a harder time doing that. So when it came to the Black Label phone call, even on the phone call with James and Derek, I had a shit-eating grin on my face. Kendrick was like, well, I know how Brandon feels about it, but we're going to talk about it. And so we talked about it, and I took the grin off and I put my business hat on, and we started thinking about the parents of Apostate and what's best for Apostate, not what's cool for Brandon or what's cool for Kendrick. That's about
a hard thing to separate.
That's it, but it's key, right? It's important because you can't.
Bad decision.
Yeah. I am not Apostate, right? I am a caretaker of Apostate. So in the role of a caretaker of Apostate, what's in Apostate's best interest? And at the time, after the first phone call, he and I quickly agreed that we were doing fine, and that if we got mixed up with Oveja Negra, that now we no longer have our own identity or something like that, right? So it was all, you know, hopeful shit that we convinced ourselves was the right path at the time. And honestly, we probably would have been okay if we had stuck to our guns and stayed that way.
I don't think you would have gone under by any means. It would have taken a little bit longer to reach where you wanted.
Sure, exactly. The goals we had would still have been accomplished, right? It just would have taken longer, like you said. So it came down to, like I said, there's just constant over, 6 to 8 weeks, just beating ourselves up and being like, man, I'm second guessing this. I don't know if we made the right call. Till finally Kendrick was like, all right, I'm going to take a day. I'm going to crunch numbers. I'm going to really think about this. And I left that to him because on my side, ultimately, if he comes back and he says, no, my gut's telling me the business decision we made is right, we're not going to align ourselves with Oveja, I would have been like, cool, bro, let's go. I got this. I'm going to be on the road still. We're going to grow. I'm going to do everything I can. But when he came back and said, you know what, dude, we're doing it, I was like, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. So it was, it was really easy for me to then be enthusiastic again and get hyped up and excited because I knew the brand power of Black Label. I've always loved their product. I sold their product in our shop, right? I'm the one who brought them in. James and Angela visited our shop on a ski trip and gave me my first sample in like 2017, 2018. And I was in love with them from day one. So for me, the choice was always easy about being enthusiastic, but the harder part for me was being pragmatic and saying what's best for Apostate, which is where Kendrick excels. So, he's the brains and I'm the heart and soul, right? But you couldn't do this without either one of us. It's got to be both of us or nothing. Yeah.
It would have been hard for me not to be like the Jerry Maguire line, like you had me at hello. They did. And everybody on the phone call was fully aware that they had me at hello because I had my microphone on mute. I was in Vegas. I was at a shop. I was about to do an event at one of our biggest retailers in the country. And it was the only time I had for the call. So I was like, hey guys, I'm going to step outside, take this call. And I had the phone on mute and Kendrick was doing all the talking, but I'm just in the background like, just grinning. And Kendrick's like, obviously we all know how Brandon feels about it, but we need to talk about it. So he's kicking you under the proverbial table.
Yeah. He's like, dude, fucking
so much enthusiasm.
Yeah. He's like, Jesus Christ, dude, calm down. I'm like, I can't calm down.
So what was your first move with moving distribution over? Was it like an overnight they're repping you? Was it a little bit of time?
No, we had a cushion. We had some time. And the important thing to us was to maintain integrity with our existing relationships, right? So we had Tim Wong was an independent rep for us out here in California, but he was also already repping Black Label with the Trendsetters group. So they had Tim working for them out here already anyway. So that transition was easy. We didn't have to have a conversation with Tim except to tell him, hey, Apostate is joining Oveja Negra. That was easy.
Sure.
But we had another rep on the East Coast. Her name is Crystal Herbert, and she is a gem of a human being. She's fucking phenomenal. She represents Aganorsa, Cavalier, La Galera. Like, she's crushing it out there. She was killing it with Apostate, and she was all in, and she was sold on the growth model, and like, she opened up doors on the East Coast that probably wouldn't have opened up without her, right? Yeah. But LJ Zuka, our new distributor, has an in-house rep in her territory. So if she had been in any other territory where we would get to pick a broker or something like that, she would have been able to stay on board. But because they had an in-house rep in that area, we had to have a hard conversation with her and be like, Crystal, I'm so sorry. Thank you for everything, but we've made this business decision and we've got to move forward with a different rep in that area. And we all cried. Everybody cried. But it was ultimately, she's still killing it. She's fine. She still wears her Apostate t-shirt. She still smokes a feathered serpent all the time. We're all good. We're all friends. Personal. But we also had our distributor, right? We had Illusione Fumare out of Nevada distributing product for us. And we had to have a conversation with them as well and say, hey, guys, you got us here. You did everything that we asked you to do. We're moving up. We're moving on. And we thank you for everything. You have until June 1st. Please keep fulfilling orders. If you need something from us, let us know. So the week before June 1st, I grabbed our Sprinter van. I grabbed a 12-foot U-Haul trailer. I drove out to Reno, loaded up 100 master cases of our product that was in the warehouse, and drove it across the country to New Jersey, and unloaded everything at the LJ Zuka warehouse, and then drove home. So I went, Reno to New Jersey to Salt Lake City in 5.5 days, which was insane. It was fucking, I'm never doing that again. That was wild, but it was necessary. So I would say for transition, as far as the transition question goes, the conversation with Crystal, the conversation with Fumare, and then driving the product across the country, those were all extremely challenging, but also necessary. And then, beginning June 1st, the product was in the warehouse ready to ship. All of the Oveja reps started plugging in orders and talking to their consumers on June 1. And it's been going great ever since. It's been, 7 weeks now of just the growth chart is the direction you want it to go. So,
yeah, that's, you want that hockey stick up, not down, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Tony asks here, Brandon, your cigars, are they available in Rhode Island or New Hampshire? I live in Massachusetts, work in Rhode Island, and next weekend I'm going to Maine for a week. Is there a place
awesome.
You can find your cigars? He
is going to be able to get them, but he's not going to be able to walk into a brick and mortar in his territory and pick them off a shelf yet. That is Nick Goss's territory. And if you know cigar brokers, you know Nick Goss. That guy's a legend. He covers New England for us now. We just brought him on. He just got his first shipment of samples from us that he's going to start sharing with retailers. So he's out there talking about it now. I know he's going to open up accounts soon. So he'll be able to get product in his area soon. But his best bet right now is to hop online, go to like tinderbox.com and order from the Haverford store there that does fulfillment. So it'll be coming out of PA. He'll get his cigars in like a day at a great cost. Yeah.
So Tony, go to Tinderbox and you can order his whole line.
They've got everything in stock. They've got samplers or they've got full bundles. They can sell you singles, whatever you
want. And then the other thing here is Brian Lewis asks, what is your boldest? Hold on. Let me get this back up. All right. There we go. Okay. What is your boldest cigar, or what blend should he start with?
Well, those are two very different questions. If you're asking what you should start with, in a general sense, I usually approach that from the point of view of a tobacconist, a retailer, right? You just walked into my shop and you want to try a cigar. I'm going to ask you some questions. Those questions are usually geared toward finding out what your palate enjoys, right? So you like your coffee black, you like your coffee with a little cream and sugar. If I know that, I can tell you where to start. But because he said which cigar is the boldest, I think I have an idea of what he enjoys. So I would start with the Deseret. That is our second release. It's a San Andres Maduro with a Dominican binder and DR and Nicaragua filler. It's a very dessert type Maduro. It's sweeter. It's definitely full body and full flavor, but it is not full strength. It's a medium plus at most. So I would start there. If you need to turn it up from there, I would go to the Initiatory, which is our Habano, which is definitely bolder in spice and bolder in nicotine. Or I would go to our Moronized Trumpet, which is also a San Andres Maduro, but the wrapper has been fermented a little bit longer. The Moronized Trumpet is what we call an Oscuro. It's a really dark Maduro. It's just been fermented so long that it's just dark, rich, oily. You've got a Dominican binder on there, and then you've got some broadleaf in the filler, DR in the filler. That is, I would call it bold for sure. But again, it's medium plus in strength at most. But it smokes like a chimney. The smoke output on that thing is incredible.
Yeah, Brian actually does a cool thing. He does I think it's called, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 420 Cigar Club. He has his daughter make labels, and then he tapes them around the band, and then they do a blind smoking thing, and then you peel off the created label to show your label underneath.
So that's really cool. That's super cool. Awesome.
Yeah, he's got 420 Club. He's got he's got a lot of members in it.
This is Brian Lewis, you said, right?
Yeah.
It's
each month. Yeah. He's actually probably close to where you are right now, I think.
Yeah, I've followed Brian on the socials for a while. What's up, Brian? Great question, bro. In a blind test, if you're looking for bold, I'd go Deseret #1, Initiatory #2, and Trumpet #3 for the capstone.
Now, I want to kind of make sure that everybody understands the relationship between you two. He is not in any way, shape, or form an owner. James is not an owner, doesn't have ownership. This is not that partnership deal. This is a distribution collaboration deal. Correct. Not James assuming any real ownership in the stake of the brand. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, that is fully correct. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, in the press release, it says very clearly that Oveja Negra and Apostate Cigars have joined for a marketing and distribution, right? Which is, that's it. That's all. It's marketing and distribution. Meaning, at the next PCA, you'll see Apostate in the Oveja Negra booth, right? So we will be one of the four corners. They've got Black Label Trading, Blackwork Studios, Emilio, and Apostate. So each corner of the booth will feature one of their brands under that family of brands. So there's your marketing standpoint there. As far as distribution goes, we are all distributed by LJ Zuka out of New Jersey. Scott Zuka being the owner of that company. He also owns the Emilio facing. So it's really just marketing and distribution. Black Label owns no part of Apostate. We own no part of Black Label. There's no changing of hands for ownership stake in the companies at all. They're going to do their thing. We're going to do our thing, and we're just going to all. There's the African proverb, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we're all going to go together. Yeah. So we're holding hands and skipping down the road together, man.
Well, Brian, if you want to have, I'll just go ahead and offer Brandon up. If you want to, because he does a guest for the after the first hour of the review. So I know Brandon would be more than probably welcome or willing to jump on.
Absolutely. 100%.
And have your blind cigar, but would even be a lot of fun is have him sit in the background. Don't tell anybody who the hell he is, and just have him sit there and see what everybody says. And but yeah, I'll offer that up for you, Brian. You could reach out to me. I set Brandon's schedule. So
I finally have a personal assistant. Hell yeah. Amazing. We'll
get them all set up for it. But no, I'm super excited. I can't say it enough. I think this is just going to be an incredible jumping off point for you guys, and the first rung of your We Made It ladder. You know,
Yeah, it feels like we got a seat at the table, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
For it too, you know.
That's true. That part's true. I often don't give myself or Kendrick enough credit for that. We busted our asses for 4 years to make this opportunity become available. So it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of fun seeing all of this. All right, so Richard asks, I'm sure they do. Do you got any 4 or 5X size shirts?
About to. Yeah, we did. We went through them all. I just saw Richard in Pennsylvania a few weeks ago at the Pittsburgh Cigar Crawl. What's up, Richard? No, I'll have 4X and 5X back in stock soon. And on top of that, we've traditionally been giving shirts away like at events and just giving them away. But what we'll do is when we get this next crop in, we're going to do a merch page on the website, and you can just go in and buy whatever you want. We're going to have hats, t-shirts, hoodies, the boxers, all that.
Yeah, you should. Yes. So you brought him up. I was gonna. Okay. I had like. For those of you guys that don't know anything about the Mormon religion, they have this thing called special underwear. Now that's
garments.
What I call it.
Yeah, they're called garments.
And effectively, it's your spouse isn't even allowed to see you in it. They're blessed by the church, more or less, and it's
your spouse can see you in it. That's fine.
The spouse can. It's like your holy chastity belt, right?
Yeah.
Like if you kind of want to think of it like that.
It's basically it's a representation that you wear that reminds you of your covenants with God that you agreed to in the temple, right? So it's okay if your spouse sees them, but they are sacred. You're not going to go out into the front yard to get the paper in your garments, right? You're going to put on a robe or something. You wear them during your normal daily life. You take them off, obviously, when you shower, you go swimming, or you go to the gym. But there's, your spouse is allowed to see you in them. But it's just a reminder as you go throughout your day that you've made covenants with God and that you're dressed in that armor. Yeah.
Now, Apostate makes a pair of underwear that you can go outside and get the paper with.
And in fact, pretty much everybody does, because these dudes keep fucking getting the boxers at events and keep sending me photos of them wearing the boxers. And I didn't ask for that. I think
Shahan, if you guys go back and find Shahan's picture.
He's one of the offenders for sure, but he's not the only one. He's not the only one.
He's probably the most public offender.
Jesus Christ. That old man ass in those boxers. Good for you, Kevin.
It's like Hank Hillbutt. But no, we love Kevin. Love Kevin.
No,
the underwear, though, it's not a gimmicky underwear. It's comfortable, man.
Comfy. They look good. Yeah, man. Yeah, they're legit.
Since you sent them, so the words kind of are enlarged,
little stretched out. Yeah,
a little stretched out now. But I mean, they are really comfortable.
They are. They really are. I wear them all the time.
And now you got people actually now asking for them. Do they come? They do come in different sizes, but
they come in different sizes. It's one uniform style right now. So what we're doing is this next batch. It's been heavily requested, shockingly, by the female crowd that we do something more for the ladies. So we're going to see like a boyfriend cut or something like that for the ladies.
Thong right up the string.
I wish, but it's like there's no way to put the logo on there that doesn't look ridiculous. So it's no thongs, but we'll do like a boyfriend or like a booty short or something for the ladies, and then we'll do the boxers again for the guys. We're going to be changing the manufacturer that made those, but we've got like I said, once all the next batch of merch is done, you'll be able to go on the website, click the merch page, order whatever you want. So.
Apostate bikini. Richard
Boom! There you go. See, you could do that. You could definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I think that's I love them. They're really comfortable. I wear them. They are really, really comfortable.
Super comfy, man. Very
But
supportive.
I just, they got a nice gusset in the front. I just think they're just so fun. Like they're funny.
Yeah, man,
you guys do those.
We like to have fun. We're a little tongue in cheek with the whole thing. It's fine.
So no, I really like it. So you're putting up a merch site, merch page on your. When should that be officially up?
As soon as we get this batch of merch in, so hopefully in the next few weeks, man. I would say 6 weeks probably. As soon as we have something to sell. So, yeah.
So is our I know you guys closed off your core line as far as you finished the core. Are you guys going to move into the world of limited runs at all? Is that in your future then? Just small box releases, some one-offs?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So our next big move, we're going to be going to Germany in September to do the Intertobac trade show. There's 2 really big cigar trade shows in the world, right? It's PCA and Intertobac. PCA is for the US, Intertobac is for everyone else. So we'll be in Germany in September, building relationships with brokers and opening up accounts on that side of the ocean. With that comes a few changes, right? So we've got to change our packaging a little bit for Europe and the Middle East and things like that. So you'll see Apostate coming in boxes instead of bundles. So with all of that, obviously we want to have something new and exciting to say, hey, yes, our core line is out and it's been out for a year now, but there's other stuff coming. So yeah, as far as like a yearly limited edition, you see the LEs from James. He's got the Bishop's blend and stuff like that.
That's his thing. That's why I was kind of asking, is that going to be now on your radar?
It's been on our radar. It's something we're definitely going to do. I think next year is key. We're going down in November to do a couple of factory tours that surprisingly are already booked out. But we're going to be doing some blending down there while we're there as well. And so there will be something new. And for us, really, the decision is, how many are we going to do? Are we going to do 10,000 cigars, 20,000 cigars? What are we going to do for this LE to make it obtainable, but also set it apart from the core line, right? Is it going to be in a box or a bundle? Is it going to be a new size of core line? I would love to see an annual LE. I would love to see a 2026, a 2027. I would love to see that. It's going to come down to what Hochi can accommodate for us. So far, he's been great. He hasn't ever told us no. He tried to say no on the Candela, but we all know how that went.
He could. We would have fought him for that one. That is way too good to keep stored away.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where the biggest, I would say that the time when Kendrick and I feel like we're firing on all cylinders is when we're in the factory and we're messing around with tobacco. And if you take that away from us, it's going to be a bad day, right? You're not going to have a good time. So you're going to see us blending. Whether it's yearly or not, I don't know, but you're going to see LEs for sure. You may also see, maybe there's another line. Maybe it's not core line, but it's another line. It's it's different. It's another. Maybe it's another 5 or 6 blends that are part of a different subline or something like that. There's a whole world of possibility in front of us. That's why we started the way we did with just one size per blend on 8 blends, because we knew we could quickly increase our footprint and still get to be creative. So here we are, almost 5 years down the road, and we've got a whole world of options in front of us. So,
we have a question here. Are you in Michigan? Bruce asks, are you in Michigan yet?
Not yet. About to be. My boy Calvin Wood's out there working hard on it. Yeah, you're going to see some Michigan soon.
Awesome. We also have got Tony looking like he's buying the Sampler 2 Electric Boogaloo off of Tinder.
Yeah, Tinderbox has got the Apostate Sampler #2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, it's so Mike is the GM over at Tinderbox Haverford, who runs their online sales, and he's very good at marketing.
What else you could do that I think would be a fun, like a Dante's Inferno line with the 7 levels of hell.
Man, there's so many directions to go, and for us, it's one of those like. There's a lot of religious dogma out there that you can partake from, but for us, it's more fun to partake from what we know. And so, for example, I was a missionary when I was Mormon. I went to the Dominican Republic. Kendrick was a missionary. He went to Scotland. So for us, it's a lot of fun to pull from our Mormon mythology and kind of stick to that. It's more exciting and honestly, it's more fun, a little more ironic for us. So you'll see maybe some broad religious stuff, but ultimately, if we're coming up with something, odds are it's going to tie back to our Mormon roots somehow.
Sure, and that makes sense. Well, that's awesome, Tony. I know Brandon and Kendrick are very appreciative that you're picking up that sampler to support.
Yeah,
them.
Dude, good job. Thank you.
So that's awesome, Tony. You're not going to be
awesome.
disappointed
No,
in any way, shape.
We don't get a lot of. I know a lot of people like to reach out and give feedback and stuff like that. Even last night, I was doing an event down in San Diego at Harlow's. And a dude walked in and we were featuring the brand and he tried it for the first time and he taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, can I give you some feedback?" I was like, all right, here we go. So I went and sat with him and he's like, "Look, man, I don't know what to say other than this is a really good cigar." But like he held it up. He was like, "The construction's great." He showed me the burn line. He's like, "The construction's great. The flavor's great. I really don't have any notes, and I guess that's my feedback." I was like, "All right, I'll take it." You know, like, that's usually how it goes. I've never had anybody reach out and be like, "Man, this cigar sucked. This cigar was terrible. It didn't burn right." You get construction issues here and there, but it's so rare. So I know Tony's going to have some stuff that he's going to love smoking.
And Richard, I can guarantee you, Brandon is not tired of you
No,
asking about
absolutely.
the Candela Lancer.
No.
I can tell you, I don't think Apostate realized what they actually made. Because now, when I say realize what you made, when I say that, I mean, you guys knew you made a good cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you realize you made the best Candela cigar on the market. And that's literally not just for me saying it. That's everybody I have introduced that cigar to. That's Shahan, who's a Candela machine. He took me on the Candelas. I genuinely think you rocked a lot of the cigar world in the Candela universe, because before that, the Holy Lancer was king.
Yeah.
In that.
I agree.
And I don't. That's not the case anymore. That doesn't mean that it's a bad cigar, the Holy
Not
Lancer,
at all.
in any way. But your Candela, first off, it looks like it just went through a war, and it is amazing. I love that dark, gritty.
It's gritty, yeah, man. It's in the trenches, man. Yeah, it's
I love that.
I mean, talking about the Feathered Serpent is talking about the Feathered Serpent is a little surreal, right? Because it started from something that Hochi originally was just like, "No, we're not producing Candela in this factory. That's not. I don't like Candela. Nobody smokes Candela." And we convinced him to let us do a test blend. And the test blend that we came up with was so good that he was like, "Well, I don't have any Candela. My only option here is to buy a bunch of Candela from Ecuador, or let me grow it for you." And we went with the let him grow it for us option, which I think was the nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin, right? So typically your Candela is a Habano grown wrapper, a Habano seed grown in Ecuador. It's thin, it's grassy, it's very delicate. The Corojo seed Dominican Candela that Hochi is growing for us is thick, oily, sweet. It's not grassy at all. It's got, I mean, obviously it's very verdant. It's green still, so you can taste that verdance, right? But then you have a San Andres binder underneath it. You have all Dominican filler with no ligero, so it's not a powerhouse, kick you in the teeth, overwhelming the wrapper kind of. So everything we did with the Feathered Serpent was intentional. And I'm not here to tell you that everybody else who released a Candela didn't do it intentionally. Obviously, there was thought put into it. If you smoke the Roma Craft, if you smoke the Illusione, if you smoke the LFD Double Claro, Jake Wyatt, there's a lot of good Candela out there, right?
There's a ton.
We just wanted our goal, I guess, in doing a Candela was We wanted unique wrappers on all 8 blends, so we knew we needed a Candela. And if we were going to do it, we're going to fucking do it, right? I want the conversation eventually to steer away from that's the best Candela in the world to that's a really good fucking cigar. Like Candela doesn't need to be a part of it, right? Obviously it is a Candela and we have to play like it's a Candela, but I just want people to talk about the fact that it's a really good blend. If you closed your eyes and didn't know it was a green cigar, it would be a very unique smoking experience anyway, right? So
I think too that like I've given that to people that legitimately despise Candela, and they're like,
same,
"Holy cow, this
same.
changed!"
Yeah.
You mean to tell me it can taste like this?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it truly is, you know, one of those cigars that if you smoke Candelas and you haven't had that one, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because you're right, it's a great cigar altogether. The reason why I come back to it's a great Candela is because a lot of people are shocked when you say it's a great.
Because
Candela.
it's a unique experience to that wrapper. I agree. You can't separate from that, and we'll never separate from that. And it's my number 2 selling SKU, which is insane. A Candela being my number 2 SKU out of 8 SKUs is wild. So
yes, I don't think anybody's Candelas are their number 2 SKU.
No,
Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate that. I love bringing boutique cigars. Danny Ravanelli introduced me to a lot of these boutique cigars. Introduced me to
Big D,
Kendrick and Brandon here. And I think the boutique lines have more heart. I think they have more to lose, which is why they have more heart. And when they hit, they fucking hit.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. And that's not to say that the legacy brands that are out there didn't do amazing, innovative things in their day, right?
Sure.
That's why they're here. That's why they're still here. That's why they'll always be here. I think boutique is just your opportunity to witness the birth of the next generation of that, right? So, like you said, we don't come from a bunch of corporate money where we've been doing this for 150 years. You know, this was personal stakes on the table, and it had to succeed or fail. And success is really the only option because I took out a second mortgage on my house to do this shit, right? So it's like it had to do well. And I think if you put those stakes in it, you care about it. Again, not saying that legacy brands don't care about what they're doing. They obviously care, and they're very good at what they do. But I think the innovation and the excitement and the passion that excites new smokers or excites new retailers is definitely a little more boutique centric right now.
Yeah, and I'll say it. I often equate boutique with sports, right? It's like a lot of people don't like to watch pro sports because they're often seen as prima donnas or they're complaining or whatever.
Right.
And I'm not saying that any cigar company does that, but a lot of people prefer to watch the college because they play harder. There's more heart to it. It's I'm here because not of the paycheck. I'm here because I want to be here type deal.
Love of the game, baby. Yeah.
And I think a lot of boutiques kind of are seen with that mindset in the boutique cigar lover side. It's like the legacies aren't bad. I know what I'm getting with them.
You know what you're getting. It's consistent. It's going to be good every time. Yeah.
But I want something different. I want something that's
I want something different.
Tweaks my palate differently.
And I love that.
Apostate comes in.
Well, Apostate and a lot of other boutiques. And there's this weird, I would say we need to add another category, that there's this weird hybrid legacy boutique category now, right? If you look at guys like my father and maybe even Perdomo or Illusione, Plasencia, Room 101, Tatuaje, Drew Estate. Those are it's legacy, but it's also boutique, right? Because they carry that rock star vibe. They're the 5th-year seniors playing college football, right? They're not NBA divas yet. But they're seasoned. They've been doing it. They know the game, and they still love it, right? So, look at your Matt Booths and your Dion's. Those guys, I mean, they're still fucking rock stars, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's again, it's just more heart is in it. You guys have more to lose. You play harder, and it comes through when you get bangers,
Yeah.
and it shows.
Well,
I
and I
want
like that part because I like surprising people. I like being the new guy in the room. I like people, turning their heads and saying, "Well, what's going on over there? That seems pretty cool. That's fucking
Mhm.
awesome." You know?
Oh yeah, and Boofy will, no matter
Oh
how
God.
big Boofy gets, Boofy will always be boutique.
Yeah,
It
Matt
doesn't
is
matter.
no
He is
Matt.
himself at boutique.
It, only,
He is a
only
one-off.
Matt is a boutique. Matt is a boutique human, right?
Yes,
Matt
yes, yes.
he Matt Booth is one of my dearest friends in the industry, and I have to almost put a caveat on it that he's just one of my closest friends now. Um, I learn a lot from Matt. We keep in constant touch. I have had the pleasure of smoking at his house with him, and just taking off the mantle of being a brand owner and having a cigar with your buddy, and it just happens to be Matt Booth sitting across from you. There's a lot to learn there. Um, he's always going to tell a dick joke, but then he's going to say something really profound, and he's going to give you good advice, and it may not be what you want to hear, and that's what I love about him is he's always ready to share with you the shit that sucks sometimes, and that's great. So people like Matt Booth and John True and Dion and just the guys who've been doing this for 20 years but are still considered boutique. I think that's impactful. I think that means something.
For sure, for sure.
Nick
Did
Melillo, fuck man.
did Boofy ever tell you about the box he signed for some young kid?
Which one?
So this kid came up to him, and it must have just been like his first box he ever bought. It's like Boofy's like he was a young smoker, came up and, hey, can you sign this box? So you don't ask him to sign something without telling him what you want. You never
Nope.
dealer's choice, Matt Booth.
Don't give Matt
You
creative
never
liberty,
dealer's
dude.
choice.
Yeah.
So he took a Sharpie, went into the corner, and drew dicks all over the
Yep.
box on the inside
I'm
and
not
outside.
shocked at all.
Gave it back to the kid. The kid's
So
like, the look on his face was pure shock
yeah,
that I just did
in
that.
that in that same vein, when we launched with dude, looking back at what we've done over the 5 years is insane to me. So when we launched, we thought it would be just a killer idea to launch with 3 blends, and I can't believe that we did that and that we're still here. We launched with 3 blends. We had the Initiatory, the Deseret, and the Liahona. You had a Habano, a Maduro, and a Connecticut. And Matt Booth, when he saw that we launched, called me. I was still picking up shifts at Beehive. I was still doing the ordering. I was still the GM. He called me at the shop, and he was like, "Hey, I need you to send me a bundle of each. But I'm going to refuse the delivery if you don't draw a dick on each bundle." So Matt Booth still has 3 bundles of Apostate Cigars with a penis drawn by me on each bundle.
Oh, that is way too funny. I want to go back for a minute because you had mentioned that Hochi grew this Candela for you. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. You're the only person with this Candela,
Correct.
and you're not only the only person with this Candela, but Hochi, who is a cigar god, grew you your own fucking Candela that you only use. So again, I just want to restate that you had a let tell you, I'm going to grow your tobacco.
Yeah.
It's
This is
for you, and I've
yeah.
never grown Candela before. I
Mhm.
don't like to,
Correct.
but if I do, it's only again, dude. Like that's
It's wild, right?
you
So
understand what that means?
well, there's even more layers to it because I think Hochi in his heart, even though he doesn't smoke Candela, he smokes ours, but he doesn't smoke Candela. He doesn't like it, and traditionally, he's very traditional, right? When it comes to Dominican manufacturers, when you go to the DR and you're talking to a factory and you want to start blending cigars or making cigars with somebody, it's very traditional. And that's why boutiques have to do a lot of convincing and a lot of, earning your chops down there, because they're very by the traditional Dominican book. So if you smoke the initiatory, or the Habano with the red label, the Sumatra, that when you smoke that, it almost tastes like a La Galera. That was Ho Chi's blend that he used to show us how to blend a cigar. That was our introduction to blending. So we made some changes to the recipe that he gave to the production crew. Like we swapped out, the binder that he wanted to use, and we put a Mexican San Andres on there instead of Dominican Olor. And we tweaked the ratios on the fillers, different from what he wanted. But when you smoke that cigar, and I had a guy tell me last night, this tastes like a Ho Chi cigar. That's the most traditional Ho Chi cigar. So I think in his heart of hearts, when we said we wanted to do Candela, he saw it as an opportunity to see if he could grow it. He took the reins and said, okay, here's a challenge for me as a grower. What can I do to provide the best Candela wrapper possible for these guys? And we were just lucky enough to be the caveat for him to be able to do that. So, I mean, it's fucking cool that we've got a proprietary wrapper on that cigar.
Yeah, you have a custom made Candela wrapper.
Custom Candela.
For those of you that don't know, Jose Blanco, if you've heard of Jose Blanco,
they're cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, they're Jose Blanco is Arturo Fuente, their national sales director.
Before that, he was La Aurora, EP Carrillo, the professor. Yeah, man.
So to get somebody like Ho Chi to for one agree to do something he didn't want to do, and then to turn around and go, I don't want to buy it, I'm just going to make it, and then now that. But see, I say this because I'm a really big fan of Candelas, and I just want everybody to know the only way you're going to try this Candela wrapper, it's the only way you will ever try it. The first ever Ho Chi Blanco Candela wrapper is the Feathered Serpent, and it's worth. If you don't like Candela, it's worth the retry because I think you will. Again, for 5 years you've been in the company, just the successes that you guys have had is really out of this world.
It's mind blowing, dude. Yeah,
linked up with Ho Chi, and then now to be linked up with James. Like, you guys are flying high, man.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's like I get chills just thinking about it, man.
How much of it don't you even believe is happening?
Almost all of it. Yeah, because you know what I mean. Because I came from retail, dude, and I only spent 6 years in that arena. Right. I came on the scene. I spent 6 years in retail as a GM. I went to every PCA for 6 years. Went on a bunch of trips. Did some factory tours. Became a cigar nerd. Learned everything I could learn so that I could be a good tobacconist. And then we launched a brand, and now we're 5 years down that road. And so I've got over 10 years experience in tobacco, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it feels like a lifetime. But it's just one of those things that 5 years down the road, man, this is so different than what I had in mind when we decided to launch a company. It's not even, I knew that if we were going to do it, we were going to do everything we could to make it successful. Otherwise, why do it? But I had no idea that it would lead to, the road that we're on now.
So take us down the track of where do you see this since you're 5 years in, where do you see this in 5 years? Where do you see you guys?
My ultimate pipe dream, in 5 years, I want to have a factory.
So you want to go vertical integration?
Not necessarily vertical. I think having a factory for production is one thing. Okay. I think growing tobacco is something else entirely, and I don't want to learn that game. You know what I mean? There are people already doing it who've demonstrated they're willing to work with us, and I would love to just still get my tobacco from Ho Chi and James, right?
Sure.
So if we can get tobacco from Ho Chi and James, or whoever else, as long as it's good tobacco, the Cameroon from Mirafel, like we have on the Zarahemla, as long as we can get good tobacco, factory, I think is the next step. So in the next 5 years, I would love to see an Apostate factory hopefully somewhere in the little plaza with Hochi's factory, next to the
Oh,
Aventura
so you
guys.
would keep it in the DR?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we would. It's just easier to export out of the DR. The government is much more stable. The tariff is lower. So all of those things come into play, and I think the DR is where it's at right now. So 5 years down the road, I would love to have an apostate factory where we get to go spend time and have an office and be creative and maybe make cigars for other people. You know what I mean? Maybe there's somebody with a dream who wants to make cigars and has a good vision and a good plan and good marketing and a good palate and wants to make a product, and we want to help them do that. Maybe that's a thing. So that's the next step, I think.
Do you see yourself going down a blender's road for you?
So we're already on that road. Kendrick and I do all the blending for Apostate.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, would you guys see yourself would you see yourself in obviously you wouldn't give yourself this, but would you go for I want to be like a master blender. I want to learn every aspect, every facet.
100%.
And then blend for other people as well.
100%. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. For
you
me,
want to dive into it that deep.
Well, like you said earlier, I'm not satisfied coasting, right? I'm always looking for how I can grow. And for me, how I can grow is, sort of the Nick Balillo approach of spending as much time in the field as possible and just making tobacco part of my DNA. It's already something I'm super passionate and nerdy about. And I think we're doing pretty good on the blending side with what we've got at our fingertips. So for me, I think the next step would be getting to a point where someone can have a conversation, and not because I want accolades, but because that's part of what I want my identity to involve is if you want a really good blend and you want somebody who can help you figure out a flavor profile, go talk to Brandon. Now, you've got legends like Nick Melillo or Dion who can smoke a cigar with no band on it and tell you exactly which leaf is in it, which farm it came from. I'm not quite at that level, but I'm pretty close. I've got a good palate, and I've done that party trick where someone will bring me a cigar without a band on it, and I can tell you which company made it, which country of origin it was. I can't tell you each and every single leaf in there. That's next level shit, but I would love to get there. I would love to be, Brandon Oveson Master Blender. That'd be awesome. I'm not there yet, and I'll never claim to be there when I am there.
That's a title.
It's certainly not going to be a self-bestowed title for me. So, but that's all on there. I would love to spend the next few years more time in the DR. I want to go work in the farm. I want to go harvest tobacco. I want to hang it in the barn. I want to spend time in the curing room, in the fermentation room. I want to help them sort bundles. I want to help them sort leaves. I want to learn to roll cigars better. Everything I can do to just be more involved with how the process actually works.
I love that. I love that. You talk to some brand owners, and they're satisfied without being that blender. They're satisfied with who they have, and they're like, "Why do I've got to learn that? I love my." Well, it's kind of like what happens if that blender goes away? You have a falling out. Right. I don't want to leave the success of a company in somebody else's hand.
Especially my company. Yeah, man. Right. That's the thing is like right now, Kendrick and I do all the blending, right? But we know that we have a safety net. I know that Hochi's in that factory and his son is in that factory and Felix, the production manager, is in that factory. If we falter or flail about and feel lost, we've got a support group to help us get to where we need to go. Ultimately, I want to be in a place where I don't need a safety net. I'm on the high wire because I've been walking the high wire for years, right? So being self-sufficient and able to do your own thing, again, it's part of personal growth, right? I'm never going to be satisfied. I'm never going to be at a point where I'm like, you know what? I made it. I'm good. I'm done. That's never, ever gonna, I'm not that guy. It's not in me. There's always something else you can learn. The second you stop learning, you should do something else.
Oh yeah. The second you're the smartest guy in the room, leave.
Fuck that. Yeah. You go to a better room. You
You're
know?
right.
Yeah.
Right. Here's
Yeah.
some accolades for you. What's up? This is from American Savage 1776. Says, "What's up, Brandon? Big fan. Love the blends. As a cigar smoker and an ex-Mormon, I appreciate all the details in the bands.
Yes,
The Feathered
sir.
Serpent is absolute fire." So
Amazing.
I love.
Amazing.
Again, it's just so creative with how you guys did it and spelled it out. But I love the fact of hearing that you're gonna, cannonball deeper into this
For sure.
and always take that internal control and keep it
Mhm.
with you guys. I like the fact that you're going to be a blender. Now, when it
Yeah.
comes to who likes blending more, is it you or Kendrick, or is it equal?
It's equal. That's equal for sure. There will hopefully never be a day where you taste an apostate cigar that was only blended by one of us. I mean, maybe we'll be silly and you'll get the Kendrick blend and you'll get the Brandon blend, but our best work happens together. The collaboration is part of the magic, right? So I think it's one of those. It's Sonny and Cher. You know what I mean? They're good on their own, but they're Simon and Garfunkel. Can't beat them together, right? Can't beat
Oh
them.
yeah.
So
That might
it's
be a good idea for an event cigar, real quick, if I can.
yeah.
Is if you show up, your blended cigar. Kendrick shows up, his blended. That might be kind of a fun,
Right.
like event only type thing, and it would give people an additional, way to.
Well, I mean, am I going to go down to the factory and make a blend and have them roll 100 cigars? That's my blend for me. Absolutely. Is it going to be something that I ever bring to market? Probably not. You know what I mean? But I do want to see what I can do by myself. And I know he has the same drive. But as far as apostate is concerned, when you're smoking an apostate product, that's a collaborative process. It will always be the both of us. If it's ever not the both of us, there's trouble, right? So
So there's obviously two of you that run
mhm.
the company.
Yeah.
So who wins?
Who wins?
Yeah, meaning it's kind of when you got three people, you can say vote, but like push comes to
Right.
shove, who is it? Kind of like, I'll let you win this one, I win the next
Mm.
one. Like, how does give us a little bit of
No,
that
I
dynamic?
mean, honestly, luckily, it has never gone that way. The relationship that Kendrick and I built early on the retail side was always a spirit of collaboration. It was seeing the direction things needed to go and knowing that there are different ways to get there, and ultimately picking the way that gets there that makes sense for everybody, right? So when it comes to running Beehive Cigars, Kendrick's retail shop, it's always the goal is, a rising tide raises all ships. We want Beehive to do well so that the people who work at Beehive can do well, so that the customers can do well. It's always in the ultimate benefit of everyone else, right? When it comes to apostate cigars, the way Kendrick and I work, it's very much like a marriage, man. Like Kendrick's my work wife, dude. We have definitely butted heads. I won't tell you that it's always been seamless. There have been times where we've had full on arguments in the DR. We've yelled at each other, man. Like it's because we're passionate, because we give a shit and we care about what we're doing. So who wins comes down to what makes the most sense for apostate and who's willing to be humble enough to back off their standpoint and see the bigger picture. And we've both done a little bit of that.
That's
So
good.
it's very, very collaborative. We are highly aligned. If you ask Kendrick a question, you're probably going to get the same answer when you ask me that question. Now, how we get there may be different, but the goal is the same.
And see, that's good,
Mhm.
because you don't want one person winning all the battles,
Mm.
because then you feel underappreciated. It's good to lose a few and win a few, right? Because
Right. Well, and
that allows everybody's voice to be in the mix.
yeah, to go back to the marriage scenario, it's you don't want to create resentment in your partner, right? So if you're constantly being shut down or you're constantly having your ideas glossed over, or one person is just taking the wheel and saying, no, this is where we're going, it's never going to work. It's saying, hey, where do you want to go and how do we get there? Well, we could take this route or this route or this route. Which one makes the most sense? And then you talk about why they make the most sense, and then you agree together. It's never Kendrick versus Brandon. It's Kendrick and Brandon versus the problem, right? We're a
I
united
like
front.
that.
against whatever the issue is. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. As we're getting into the close here of the show, we got about 15 minutes left. Who was the first person in the industry that reached out and said congratulations?
Matt Booth.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you were going to say that because Boofy's he did the same thing with Caldwell.
Yeah.
And I love listening to Matt talk about how people say I sold out. No, I didn't, bitch. I got paid.
He got paid.
I didn't sell out. I got paid.
No. Matt Booth put in the fucking work and he got the fucking bag, and I couldn't be happier for him. Yeah, dude. There's no such thing as a sellout, bro. It's what's your price tag? You know, what do you value yourself at for your efforts, right?
Yeah. No, I figured you were going to say Booth.
He was the first. So Matt, when I was on the retail side, we didn't have a Room 101 rep covering Utah. So Matt was servicing the account personally, and he knows that Utah is a high tax state. So he called me and said, "Hey man, here's what I can do for you on pricing. If you order this much, I can give you this kind of a break, and then you can sell the product at a good price for your customers, as long as you agree to keep selling, this many, blah, blah, blah." So he was very easy to work with. He was very involved. I talked to Matt as a retailer probably 2 or 3 times a month on the business side. And from there, it turned into this, we're very similar personality wise. So we jived a lot. We started having personal conversations. And then when we launched the brand, he was the first person that I called for industry advice, and told him we were thinking about launching a brand, and what kind of advice can you offer? And his first advice was, don't do it. Straight up. And I was like, okay, cool, that's the Matt Booth answer. And he's like, no, bro, listen to me. Do you like cigars? I was like, yeah. He's like, do you like money? I was like, yeah. He's like, then don't fucking do it. So, but then when I told him, well, it's too late, we've already talked to Hochi and we're going, the cigars are in production. He was like, well, okay, here's my advice then, because you already fucked up. Keep your head down, stay in your lane, do your thing, be true to yourself, ignore the bullshit, and have fun. If you're not having fun, quit. And I was like, fuck, yeah, that's great advice. So yeah, he was the first one to reach out.
Who are your top 3? Obviously, Boofy's in this list. Who are your top 3 mentors outside of you and Kendrick and Hochi?
Oh, you're going to take Hochi off the list, huh? Okay.
I'm taking Hochi off because Hochi's more of a business partner. Yes, he's also a mentor, but I'm talking about people outside of your space that aren't associated with the company.
So even though that we are now associated with them professionally, I have to put James Brown at the top of the list.
100%.
Because I loved his product as a consumer. I loved his product as a retailer. I love his brain creatively. I love who he is as a human. So James Brown is top of the list. Obviously, Matt Booth is on the list for the same reasons. Outside of that, I would say probably, even though we don't have a super close relationship, I've only talked to him a few times, Nick Melillo. That guy is a tobacco savant. He is everything that I want to represent as far as a tobacconist goes, as far as a brand owner goes, as far as a human goes. He's humble, he's thirsty for knowledge, and he's willing to share that knowledge and deliver a good product. So I would say my trifecta is James Brown, Matt Booth, and Nick Melillo.
Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, right there, buddy.
Right there, buddy. Yeah.
The trinity of cigars. I mean, Nick's being such a young guy, he's already forgotten more about cigars than a lot of people ever know.
Insane, dude. Just if you look at the portfolio of Nick Melillo, it's insane.
It is banger after banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, not just cigars that he's created, but also like what he has done to personally enrich his own tobacco journey, right? He literally knows. He's got a PhD in tobacco. He's the guy. So yeah, I hope someday to even be close to that level.
Yeah, and that's the old adage: show me your friends, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you where you'll be. Like you've got a great group of friends there, man.
Yeah.
And no wonder why you guys are successful if you're leaning on those three.
Yeah, man. I mean, what can you say? You know, it's obviously there are a dozen more people I would love to put on that list, but there's just so many masters in this industry. Jonas from Blackbird, James from Sinistro, Alan from Family by Loyalty. Just people who get it. You know.
Mm-hmm. I love Alan.
Yeah.
Alan's a great guy.
Great guy.
Felt bad for him with the whole Fuente thing, but which is
It is
dumb.
what it is.
How do you trademark a fucking letter? But okay,
whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but he's a really good guy, and so what is a rapper that now that you're with James that you would love to see in your portfolio that's not there?
The first rapper that I want to play with that we haven't played with as a rapper would be Connecticut Broadleaf.
Okay.
For sure. I don't know. There's so many good rappers out there, dude. I want to mess with some Brazilian stuff that we haven't played with yet. We have access. We have access to a really good Brazilian Arapiraca. We've done the San Andres thing as both wrapper, binder, and filler. So, but that's a leaf that I always love playing with. I want to do a Cameroon wrap. We've done Cameroon as a binder. We've never done it as a wrapper. So
would you keep it with Marifel?
I mean, that's the gold standard, right?
It's also gold.
It's gold, bro.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's a small yield, and everybody wants it, so it's hard to get. There's some good Cameroon out there. The difference is making sure you're getting actual. Cameroon is a growing region. It's not a seed varietal, right? Correct. So you can't tell me that something grown in Ecuador is Cameroon. It doesn't work that way.
Is now so Cameroon seed,
right? Which is like Cuban seed, which is so stupid. So I'm not interested in working with Cameroon seed. I want to work with African Cameroon.
That might be a good LE for you, just because of small quantity.
Yeah. And we've already used it as a binder. We have African Cameroon as a binder on the Zarahemla. I would love to see what we can do with that.
Already there.
It's there, yeah. So, but yeah, man, there's a whole world of tobacco that I would love to play with. But high on the list of things that I think are dynamic and would be fun to work with is Connecticut Broadleaf and Brazilian.
Well, are we gonna see 60s out of you guys?
Probably. Yeah. It's not going to be
asks for them.
No, I'm not getting a lot. I'm getting more asks for Lancero than 60, which is shocking. You'll see both, but you'll probably see both as an LE.
See, I think the reason why you're probably not getting a whole lot of we want this in this size because you guys only make one size for each blend,
and we blend for that size. Yeah,
correct. So offer more sizes. People are like, well, I want it in this one too. So I think it was a smart thing that you guys didn't do multiple sizes because you were like, this is what we want you to smoke.
This is the size. Yeah, this is we did the guesswork for you. We took that out of it. If you walk into,
you guys should expand the lines either and add different sizes. I think that would take away from.
Ultimately,
of the brand.
So for us, we're going to expand the lines. You're going to see more sizes in the lines, but it's not going to be okay. We're adding a Toro and Robusto to everything. We're not doing that. We're going to go back and we're going to reblend and we're going to say, okay, we just smoked the initiatory. We released it in a Toro. We've got a Corona set coming for everything. What's the next expression that makes this blend shine? Is it a Churchill? Is it a Toro? Is it a 60? Is it a Perfecto? Is it a Salomon? Whatever expression features the best flavor for that blend is the size we will pick. We're not going to do a blanket. Everything's got a Toro. Everything's got a Churchill. That's not going to happen.
I like that.
It's going to be deliberate. So when you see a size expansion, you're going to see, a different size expanded for each blend.
I think that's part of your guys' success is that you've only had one because you don't take a lot of space. You know,
That is big for retailers. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Our
because you had
footprint,
3
you know,
sizes to each one. You're talking about that's 24
exactly,
SKUs.
exactly. So we're really not even in a world where we're worried about that happening yet, because right now we still have a whole country full of retailers who haven't carried the original size yet. So you know,
Yeah,
let's get those accounts on board and get the product moving and get consumers excited about what they can already smoke before we
sure.
worry about offering more sizes. That's
Yeah.
not a priority. Yeah,
I think that's a smart way to do it. I think
yeah,
that's a really smart way to do it.
yeah.
Because you're then controlling it, and yeah, you might be getting
Mhm.
asks for it, but the
Right.
thing is people are still smoking the cigars you have.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
not
like,
time.
I'm not going to smoke it because it's not a 60.
Yeah, I just wish this was you know, we get it. I do get feedback on the Deseret a lot, because the Deseret is a 5.5 by 54. It's my top selling blend. It's a really good flavorful Maduro, and everyone's like, man, I really wish this was a Toro, or I really wish this was a Churchill, because it's just not enough. I want more. Well, cool. Grab a Robusto and grab a Corona and smoke two. You know, I don't know
So
what to tell you. We're not
Richard
there yet.
Richard here says petite Corona size and call it the nail on the cross.
So the petite Corona sizes are what's coming next. They're going to be
Correct.
released in the next 3 weeks. It's a 4.5 by 44, and we're calling
That's your
them the
box of all 8 of them, right?
yeah, we're calling them the 8 witnesses. Yep,
Mhm.
yep. So that's coming very soon.
So what have what have you been doing all summer? Have you been able to take some time to kind of relax and absorb this, or have you been
I
balls to
wish
the walls since
it's been
April?
so. What was nice about contemplating joining forces with Oveja was that we were going to have a sales force with 10 reps who were going to be doing everything that I was doing personally, right? So I had this idea in my head that instead of getting on a plane and being all over the country, I was going to get some more time at home. That has not been the case.
More time at home.
Oh, that has super not been the case. No, man, I've been gone just as much this year as the last 3 years, if not more. But it is different now. It is different now. It's there's some pressure off my shoulders, right?
Good.
I get to just kind of be the guy in the room talking about the brand and talking about our story. The impetus is not on me to open the account and get the sale. That's on the rep now, which is nice. I'm the fluffer. You know what I mean? I get to go in and get the talent ready to close the deal. So it's nice to travel differently. But I am still traveling just as much, and I don't see that going away.
Good. And, well, I mean, that's good though that you're traveling,
Yeah,
and
you
that's
have to.
good that you got some of the petty stuff off of your
Hmm.
shoulders too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so where if everything ended tomorrow for Apostate,
Hmm.
first of all, I would be crying.
Me
If
too.
everything ended, because I mean we can't, right? We've already lost. We lost Chuck Mangione, we
Yeah,
lost
dude.
Ozzy, we
It,
lost
it it's
Hulk.
been a rough week for 80s
It's
kids, bro.
it's
Yeah,
been a very rough week,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um, how would you want the cigar community to remember you guys by?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think what our legacy will be, even if, like you said, if it ended tomorrow, we've already established that we are a brand that is more interested in the smoking experience than the cigar itself, right? I'm interested in the community that's being built around a retail space or a lounge. I'm interested in the people who get to take an hour and a half out of their lives to enjoy a rolled up cylinder of dead leaves. You know, so for me, it's not about what the cigar is; it's about what the cigar does, and I hope that that will be uh, the impression that we've left on people. Is that we care about these communities, we care about smokers, we care about tobacco. We're not here to make a dollar. We're here to build community.
And I think the cigar community would agree with that. And I mean, like I said, you guys have been personally um, one of my favorite brands to watch grow, just because I feel like everything's always coming up apostate. Like I feel like every year you guys break a new ground somewhere. You guys hit a new avenue long before you should.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think you would even disagree with me that you in 5 years would have thought, not only is Hochi doing your stuff, now you're tagged up with James Brown, you know, Luzione did your distribution at the beginning. Like you guys have kind of, I don't want to say luck because you've made your own, but you've made the right connections to put you guys in a very lucky position to be able to have the growth that you've had.
Right.
And you've been a fun brand to watch fucking grow, man. Like you really, really have.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. It's like you said, it's luck is what's the phrase? Luck is preparation meeting opportunity, right? So it's definitely, we're not going into this unprepared. We don't always know what we're doing. There's a lot of figuring shit out as you go. But luckily we're being deliberate. We're taking our time. We're making sure that the choices we make are the right choices, as exemplified by the originally saying no to Oveja Negra. That's the prime example. It's like, you know, let's revisit this. And we do a lot of that. So revisiting and being intentional and having integrity, that's it, man. That's all you can do.
Yeah, but one of the things too that I love that you guys have done is you're making cigars, obviously for you guys, but you guys care about the community too. You care about the community, and you're making cigars for a wide swath of people.
Yeah,
regardless of their palate. There's something in your lineup for literally everybody.
Literally,
and your lineup is one that can be grown into too. I've tried this. I've got 8 more. I've tried one. I've got 7 more.
Yeah, you can come into the arena of being a brand new cigar smoker, and there's an apostate for you. And then you can go years and smoke through the line and get to a place where you're a seasoned veteran, and there's an apostate for you. I don't want to be, you know, there's brands where you're like, oh, they only make powerhouse cigars, or oh, they only make spicy cigars, or oh, they only make fat ring gauges. I can't. I'm a consumer. I'm a cigar guy, right? I don't want that for me. So why would I want that for my customers?
Absolutely.
The consumers deserve a full spectrum, and that's the goal, is to make sure that they've got everything.
Yeah, no, and you're taking us to church with everything.
Absolutely.
Too. I mean, really, that song popped in my head.
Hosier, baby, Hosier, absolutely. My Irish brother, absolutely, man. Yeah.
But hey, you know, Brandon, thank you so much, man, for coming on. I hope this was a fun show for you. I really appreciate the time.
Love it.
And thank you so much to the Amador Club. Brandon's been here. He can tell you it's fucking slick. It's
dope.
It's really slick. So if you're out here in San Francisco, 550 Montgomery Street in San Francisco, come in, go to the 10th floor. Tell them I sent you. I don't know. It won't get you anything other than, oh, that's cool. But you can let them know that I sent you up there, and definitely much love to the Amador Club for letting me do the show here tonight. Brandon, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks,
everything's looking up Apostate, and I love it. We 2-hour church session with Apostate tonight, everybody. So until Brandon and I see you again, smoke what you like, smoke as much fucking Apostate as you can, and have a great rest of your